just 10 days old.
So I felt like there was a piece of my history that I knew nothing about, and that was surprising, a little upsetting at times. It's opened up a whole world for me, and it's very much helped me to understand my own personal history and my family's history, and that's incredibly important to me. Incredibly important. This is about 10 years ago, and everybody looks so much younger.
Jolie and I met at a restaurant in San Francisco and just kept talking and talking, and just it was interesting because there are, of course, many things that we share, but many experiences, of course, that we didn't. So there's a disparity, but a unity.
Finding a long-lost sibling through their DNA connection has been a tangible benefit for Jolie and Neil. The next wave of DNA scientific breakthroughs promises to open doors into new territories once thought impossible. At the forefront of this revolution is a scientist who is unlocking secrets of the human lifespan in the most unlikely of places. Worms.
There's a whole network of genes that interact with each other. They control aging. And it was just waiting to be discovered.
She's chasing mankind's wildest dream, immortality.
相连环居住户
Beginning to understand the true power of our DNA as scientists embark on this next wave of genetic research. Using advances in human and animal genetics, researchers are now attempting one of the most daring discoveries of all time. At the University of California, Dr. Cynthia Kenyon dreams of finding a way to radically prolong our lives, creating a new age of superhumans. From her labs, Dr. Kenyon conducts pioneering work that goes against all the long-held perceptions of a human lifespan.
For a really long time, that aging was something that just happened. We just wear out, like an old car.
She's searching for the holy grail of genetic science, the real fountain of youth. Dr. Kenyon is looking for inspiration in the natural world, and she notices a key fundamental trait. All species of animals have very different lifespans.
Do different species age at different rates? Why does a mouse age and die in 2 years, and a human, in 2 years, we hardly are started?
If Dr. Kenyon is able to identify and manipulate the gene that governs this lifespan, she might just be able to change the way we age forever. She believes that the key to our future lies in this tiny creature known as C. elegans, or the roundworm. They are just 1 millimeter in length, the size of a comma in a sentence.
C. elegans ages and dies in just about 3 weeks. So it's really easy to study them, and also it's very easy to manipulate their genes.
Despite their size, these worms have an important bond with humans, and it's all about our shared genetic code. DNA is the universal language of all living things. Worms might be one of the simplest organisms, but they share an amazing 50% of their genes with humans. Dr. Kenyon and her team start to experiment, randomly changing different genes within the worms to see if they can increase their lifespans.
You take the normal worms, you treat them with a chemical that at a low frequency will change the structure of the DNA.
The tests require a lot of patience with little guarantee of success, and not everyone is convinced by the investigation.
A lot of people didn't think that it would work. Pretty much the whole world thought that aging just happened. And so it was very hard to get anybody to come to the lab to do the experiment.
But she isn't your average scientist. Fired up by the chance to prove her detractors wrong, Dr. Kenyon and her team start lab tests on worms.
You couldn't hold me back because I was really very, very excited about this idea. And I thought there would be something really interesting. There's a whole network of genes that interact with each other. They control aging. And it was just waiting to be discovered.
Against all odds, the team makes an astonishing discovery. They identify a key gene called DAF2 that affects aging. By altering this one gene in the worm, they're able to dramatically change the life expectancy of the C. elegans.
It took them 2 days to age as much as a normal worm would age in 1 day.
The life patterns of the normal test worms compared to the DAF2 mutant worms are very different. The untreated group is sluggish and slow, while the mutants are bursting with energy and vitality. Dr. Kenyon and her team continue analyzing the new mutated worms, and what they find next is truly astonishing. Yet another gene that may play a role in aging. It's called DAF16, and it now multiplies the worm's life by 6 times.
And it was actually almost creepy. You would look at the plates of worms, and the normal worms, they'd be dead. There wouldn't be any worms. And these ones would still be moving, and you'd think, gee, they should be dead, but they're not, and they're moving around.
This new generation of mutants stay young, extremely active, and develop a superpowered resistance to diseases. It's the breakthrough Dr. Kenyon has been waiting for, and she's now using this knowledge to start the search for similar aging genes in humans. Technology is riding a wave of new genetic applications led by sequencing, which is changing the way we look at ourselves and the world around us. There's still so much more to uncover. Scientists have only just begun to rediscover that parts of our DNA once deemed junk or not containing instructions for proteins may actually hold key clues to how cells, tissues, and organs behave. The frontiers of genetic science could be rewritten. But for now, through genetic mapping, we are opening up a safer world where we can live healthier lives and cure illnesses that were once deadly.
DNA sequencing is being used to solve real-world problems today.
As we map out our future, we are now discovering genes do not govern our fate. The future is DNA.